What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and trade frenzy is upon us. You know, it seems like every day we're going to be talking. First, it started obviously with Michael Bennett to the Eagles, and then you had to keep to leave to the Rams. And now, you know, you thought the news might have been Richard Sherman getting released from Seattle, but that was kind of a foregone conclusion. And we have Jarvis Landry going from the Miami Dolphins to the Cleveland Browns. And you could hear the sigh of disappointment from Raven fans and Bear fans across the nation that Jarvis Landry is not going to be going to their team. You know, a lot of people asked me on Twitter and on my stream ever since Jarvis Landry got that franchise tag from Miami, is he staying? Is he really going to stay? And I said right away, no. The Dolphins have done this before, where they tag a guy and then try to trade him for some assets. It looks like right now the Cleveland Browns are given a 2018 and 2019 pick. I'm going to guess mid-rounds for both. Like, I would not put it past me to be a 4th rounder in 2018 and like a 5th rounder in 2019, because ultimately Jarvis Landry was not going to stay there in Miami, so Miami lost a lot of the negotiating power. Pretty much, in this market, given the fact that really for a player, it's tough to get much more than like a 3rd round pick unless they're like a quarterback or a guy that's like right in their prime, like a Marcus Peters. You know, that's good business there for the Miami Dolphins. And ultimately, they didn't need to pay Jarvis Landry what they're going to. They have guys like Devontae Parker and Kenny Stills that you're hoping will take the next big jump. But I mean, when you look at this for the Cleveland Browns, this is a tremendous move. Especially the Browns are in the business of landing a quarterback. What better safety net than like the biggest safety net at wide receiver? A lot of teams and people try to think the safety net is your tight end. And you know, they have David Njoku, who's definitely a work in progress. Probably will take a big step next year. But you look at the wide receivers, you have Josh Gordon, who, I mean, if he could stay on the field, he's goddamn incredible. So now you add Jarvis Landry, a guy that can work inside and outside, primarily will be in the slot. If you can get the Cleveland Browns one more wide receiver that can compete with Corey Coleman for some snaps, that's a decent offense, quarterback aside. You figure if there's a way they might, you don't know if they're going to get Saquon Barkley. You don't know if they're going to go quarterback, but they have the assets. They have 2 top 5 picks. And the fact that they went out, and I think when you look at the skill position players outside of quarterback, which would be Kirk Cousins and maybe trying to trade for Nick Foles, Jarvis Landry's name's right at the top of players that you could bring back. Proven production. I mean, what does he have? 400 catches in 4 years. Averages 100 catches a season. I mean, he's limited. He's going to be one of those guys that a lot of people are going to see what his contract is and understand he's going to get overpaid for a slot wide receiver because he is somewhat limited on the outside. I think you can use him there a little bit, but we've shown that's where his value is in the slot. But it's a good move for the Cleveland Browns because ultimately the Cleveland Browns, if one team's going to pay for Jarvis Landry, there's going to be no good contract that came to Jarvis Landry. But if one team can afford it, it would be the Cleveland Browns. So this makes a bunch of sense. And if you're a Browns fan, I don't know if there's a lot of you guys out there. A lot of you guys don't pop your heads up here on the socials of the world. You got to be happy. Jarvis Landry is instantly like the best playmaker on your offense. You put the asterisk next to Josh Gordon because we're not exactly sure if Josh Gordon is fully back yet. And again, we're going to go with the hypothetical that they land a Sam Darnold or they land, Baker Mayfield. They're going to get one of the quarterbacks. I think it's going to be a far-gone conclusion that they're going to move on from Deshaun Kaiser, which you can. Usually you don't give up on a second-round QB that early, but it was an old regime. Now Dorsey is here. This is good business. This is good business all around. I don't know what they gave up yet, but I mean, in the big picture, the Browns had so many draft picks. Even if they overpaid a little, there's no way it's a 2nd round pick, but even if they overpaid, they gave a 3rd round pick or something like that, it's not that big of a deal for the Cleveland Browns. And it's good business there. I don't know about the Dolphins. Dolphins are kind of head-scratching when you look at their offense. The 2 biggest playmakers last season on paper and probably in terms of talent was Jarvis Landry and Jay Ajayi, and they're no longer on the team. And if I'm a Dolphins fan, I've constantly compared Adam Gase to like a mini Chip Kelly, the kind of guy that, believes his scheme will trump all. Like, you can just constantly get rid of these big-time players because don't matter. I'm going to make Jakeem Grant kind of produce like Jarvis Landry did. Or don't worry. They're kind of right. Kenyon Drake looked pretty good after Jay Ajayi got. I think ultimately Jay Ajayi is a more talented running back, but Drake is nice in his own right. But it's just one of those things, man. Ultimately, I think it came down to Jarvis Landry is going to get... He's a very awkward player to evaluate because he's one of those guys who'll get 12 catches for 70 yards. Is that bad? No, that's certainly good, especially when you look at anything the Cleveland Browns have been able to put up. But do you pay that guy top 10 wide receiver money, top 5 wide receiver money? And I don't think you do because I think there's plenty of slot guys are pretty common to draft in the NFL. Come the draft, you can get, you don't pay slot wide receivers big time money. I think ultimately that's where the Dolphins are coming from. But overall, man, I think it's a good move for the Cleveland Browns. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Like I said, trade frenzy is just beginning. And I think that, you know, from a different perspective, you're looking at this from a Ravens fan or a Bears fan standpoint, you're a little frustrated because, you know, it's the Browns. Like, really, he went to the Browns, but ultimately it was with the team, right? It was up to it was a team decision. It wasn't like Jarvis Landry picked to go there or anything. But it's definitely a little bit annoying, and the wide receiver market, you know, just kind of shrivels down a little bit. But Allen Robinson's going to be out there. A couple other guys, Moncrief. Probably forgetting a couple off the top. It's good business. And ultimately, you know, speaking of wide receivers, we'll finish up with a little bit of Eagles talk. Philly flipped Torrey Smith, who we're going to cut anyways, and he freed up $5 million of cap to the Carolina Panthers to bring in Philadelphian Darryl Worley, who once upon a time in my final Eagles mock draft like 2 or 3 seasons ago, I had the Eagles selecting Darryl Worley because they have a weird fetish for West Virginia players. And, you know, the best thing when you do a trade like this where a player that you might not know a whole lot about is go look at the team pages. Like, go look at, like, the Bleeding Green Nation equivalent of the Carolina Panthers. And right there on the front page was Darryl Worley. Everyone knew Darryl Worley. He's inconsistent. He's a starter, though. He's a starter on a rookie deal. But, like, the beat writer would say that Darryl Worley was playing probably his best football near the end of the season, was debatably their top corner the last couple weeks of the year. And the fact that we got that, and he's coming in, he's going to be competing for like our corner 4, corner 5 spot. I mean, I've got lots of tweets saying, does this mean Ronald Darby's going to get moved? I think the Eagles are going to be making moves sooner than later because they have to still chisel off like $9 or $10 million worth of cap before next week. But good business from the Eagles. Howie's doing it again. This is how we do it. But, yeah, guys, let me know what you think about, obviously, the Torrey Smith move. You're an Eagle fan. But ultimately, what do you think about this Jarvis Landry move? I would definitely like to hear from Bears fans and Ravens fans because a lot of those guys were pretty much dead set that is the player, the big fish they were going to land in free agency. But that does it from here today, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.